Most people pass by the small, seemingly insignificant raised dots on elevator buttons, street signs, medicine bottles, or even on the screens of modern devices without giving them a second thought. Yet hidden behind these tiny bumps is the life of a boy whose determination, curiosity, and courage would quietly change the world forever. Louis Braille was born in 1809 in a small French village, the son of a humble leather craftsman who worked tirelessly to support his family, instilling in Louis an early appreciation for creation, craftsmanship, and the idea that human hands could shape the world. From an early age, Louis was curious, adventurous, and fascinated by the tools and materials around him, often spending hours exploring his father's workshop, learning by touching, feeling, and imagining. But at the age of 3, a tragic accident changed his life irreversibly. A sharp tool injured one of his eyes, and the resulting infection spread until, by the age of 5, he was completely blind. In that era, blindness was often synonymous with helplessness, isolation, and the denial of education, and many would have expected a child in his position to resign himself to a life of limitation. Yet Louis refused to let darkness define him. He carried within him a spark of determination, an unshakable curiosity, and an inner vision that allowed him to see possibilities where others saw only obstacles. When he was sent to a school for blind children, he quickly discovered that the existing method of reading for the blind, tracing heavy, cumbersome letters pressed in a paper, was agonizingly slow, exhausting, and inefficient, robbing students not only of the joy of reading, but also of the independence and confidence that literacy brings. Whereas most of his peers accepted this as the only way forward, Louis imagined a different world, one in which blind people could read quickly, write freely, and learn without barriers, a world where the limitations of the body would no longer limit the mind. At the age of 12, he learned about a military system called night writing, which was designed for soldiers to communicate in darkness using raised patterns. And while most people dismissed it as overly complex and impractical, Louis saw potential where others saw impossibility. He spent countless nights experimenting, guided only by the tips of his fingers, his vivid imagination, and a relentless desire to make the world more accessible, tirelessly refining patterns and symbols until, by the age of 15, he had created a simple yet revolutionary system of 6 raised dots arranged in a grid, allowing blind people to read and write with unprecedented speed and ease, effectively opening up the world of knowledge, communication, and learning to those who had previously been excluded. Yet despite the genius of his invention, Louis faced misunderstanding, skepticism, and rejection from the very institutions that were meant to educate and empower the blind. His system was considered unnecessary, even threatening, and it would take decades before society fully recognized its brilliance. Louis devoted his life to teaching, improving his system, and quietly advocating for its adoption, all while living in the shadow of rejection, never knowing the immense impact his creation would have in the centuries to come. Tragically, Louis Braille passed away at the age of just 43, weakened by tuberculosis, having never experienced the global acceptance or the profound influence of the system he had given the world. Today, his legacy lives on everywhere, in classrooms, public spaces, libraries, elevators, and even in modern digital devices, silently empowering millions to learn, read, and communicate independently, a testament to the power of resilience, imagination, and determination. His story is a reminder that the most enduring legends are not always those with fame, fortune, or widespread recognition during their lifetimes, but the ones whose quiet courage, ingenuity, and perseverance ripple through history, touching countless lives in ways they could never have imagined. And though Louis Braille himself did not receive the accolades he deserved, every fingertip that traces those raised dots carries forward the vision of a boy who refused to be limited by darkness. Subscribe to Legends Behind the Brands for more stories like this, uncovering the hidden lives, the forgotten sacrifices, and the extraordinary minds behind the inventions, ideas, and innovations that quietly shape the world around us every single day.